All right. I think we're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. Where do I look? So my name is Waylon Lewis. I am doing 3 mindful tips every single Friday, and it's Friday. So here's 3 mindful tips. Mindful doesn't mean I'm a guru on a mountaintop. Don't worry. It doesn't mean I think I'm a guru on a mountaintop. Don't worry. It means mindfulness. It means trying to be present, trying to care. Caring is my favorite word. And it means what has been helpful to me in my life, studying Buddhism, growing up Buddhist, growing up with this wonderful single mom who cared about our environment and ethics, and trying to share whatever has been helpful to me. So here's what's been helpful to me this Friday. 3 tips. Number 1, everyone's least favorite subject, drama. Anyone need a little teeny bit of wisdom on drama? So there's that quote that if drama happens once in a while, I think it's a quote about something else, but if it happens once in a while, then it might be that other person's problem, right? If it happens regularly to us, it might be us. And that's what connects with last week's video, where we talked about taking responsibility. And that can include, like Lula is saying, sitting on the bad energy, taking responsibility for bad energy instead of trying to push away bad energy, and being surrounded by good vibes only pillows made out of plastic, printed in China, that are contributing to climate change. If none of that made sense, the idea is that we become brave in our vulnerability, our willingness to be open, our willingness to keep caring, even if something is negative, because negative is hard, it's scary. But if we can be brave, if we can be open, if we can be vulnerable, if we can care, then we can actually become truly fearless. The Buddhist definition of fearlessness is not being without fear, but going through fear and actually relaxing and being comfortable. So drama, if it happens to us once in a while, is probably because we're surrounded by some neurosis, some people having a tough time. If it happens to us regularly, like a lot, it's time to take some responsibility, which is what we talked about last week. And you can find all the videos on my brand new YouTube channel. We had a big old one, a huge one, and we kind of killed it because it wasn't monetized. Google wouldn't let us monetize it. So now I've started a brand new one. So if you look up Waylon Hart, H-A-R-T, Lewis on YouTube, you'll find all the videos. Or at Walk the Talk Show on Instagram has we share all the videos and podcast if you're a podcast person. So drama. Basically, the advice is twofold. If it's happening only once in a while with some friend, with some person, it's time for real talk. It's time for emotionally intelligent, real talk with that friend or that colleague or that person. If they don't respond well to it, it could be because we feel awkward about it, we feel tense about it, but it also is on some level, if we're going there, it's incumbent on them to be willing to take that in and process it and have an adult conversation. And if they can't do that, no harm, no foul, no hate, but that friendship, that relationship, that colleagueship may need to enter a new phase. And as person in my life recently said, boundaries, as you know, I talk about letting go, which is actually a second tip we're going to talk about. It's okay to move on. I wouldn't ghost the person. I wouldn't move on mysteriously and make it, that just feeds drama. I would be clear about it. I would say, look, we had this drama. I tried to communicate about it. I know you tried to communicate about it as well. I don't think either of us are happy with where it's at. Let's move on. If that's where you want to go. If, however, the drama, again, is happening all the time to you, again and again and again, Well, gosh darn it, it's responsibility time. So, if I were going to put you or me, someone I cared about, in sort of Buddhist boot camp, I would say begin the day by dedicating the merit of your day and anything you do to the benefit of all sentient beings, which includes yourself. But it's important that it's not just for us. That's super powerful, just to dedicate your day to all sentient beings, not just Waylon, not just you, not just me. All of us, animals, flowers, trees, clouds, everyone. Because that turns around our vision. Vision or view is very powerful in reorienting our energy so that it's not just selfish and kind of self undermining. In Buddhism, we say, and I've mentioned this many times, but we say if you want to be happy, think first of others. You definitely think of yourself. You take care of yourself. The whole, oxygen in a plane metaphor. You need to take care of yourself. That's vital. But if you want to be unhappy, think only of yourself. And that's where a lot of us get unhappy. We get a little self-obsessed. Maybe we're not egotistical. Our self-obsession could show up as insecurity, as arrogance, as neurosis, as worrying. Buddhist teacher friend said the mantra of ego, the sort of hymn or recitation is, what about me? What about me? What about me? And we all do that. It's okay to take responsibility. Okay, so if it's us, we begin the day with dedicating our merit of the day to all sentient beings, including ourselves. Meditate. At that point, you take a great posture, you breathe deeply, and you relax into that great posture. So it's not a rigid great posture. Then you just simply, with your eyes open, mouth can be slightly open, find your breath in and out, not rushing it, not big, deep, profound spiritual breaths. Just, you can do it right now. Take a great posture, breathe deeply, relax that great posture. Superhero posture, relax that superhero posture. Find your breath and place your attention on your breath going in and out. Then when a thought arises, why did someone do something bad to me? Why do people not care about me? Why does that person not like me? Why do people hate me? Whatever our, drama thoughts are, which we all go through. Again, don't use any of this as an excuse to beat yourself up more. You just notice those thoughts and you don't judge them as good or bad. As my parents' Buddhist teachers said, the thoughts can be about cookies or the thoughts can be about something awful. In the practice of meditation, they're all just thoughts. So you just label them. You say, I'm thinking, and you return your attention to the breath. And over time, this kind of magical thing happens, which is called relaxing, which is called becoming present, which is called becoming more awake. The Buddha is literally, that word Buddha translates as the awakened one, someone who is woken up. So that's all we're practicing. The Buddha isn't a God, just like Jesus kind of wasn't a God. Well, I'm stepping into dangerous territory there. In any case, the Buddha is not meant to be idolized. He or she, any Buddha, is meant to be a reference point that we can learn from. We can be appreciative, we can be respectful, but we don't need to worship them. So we are all potential Buddhas. And we practice that meditation. We do that in the morning. We do that in the evening, dedicate the merit at the end of the day. That's Buddhist Boot Camp 101. There's a whole lot more to it. It's on Elephant Journal if you want to read about morning routines, Buddhism 101, all this meditation stuff. And I hope you do. But that's, a little bit. So number 2, letting go is not dropping. There's a lot of Instagram light spiritual wisdom in my book, which isn't right here, but my second book, I talk about how there's all these quotes about if it's heavy, let it go. Now that can be beautiful and profound in certain contexts, but there's a thing called responsibility. If you're a parent, you don't just, the analogy I always use is you don't let go of your child in the middle of a grocery store just because it's difficult. right? You have to deal with the hard stuff, and we have to F up. And that comes back to, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is messing up and then trying again. It's called a practice. Mindfulness is not being perfect. It is trying. It is caring. It is messing up. It is trying again. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. That is practice. So letting go isn't about dropping. Letting go is about, again, vulnerability, bravery to have emotionally intelligent, difficult processes, discussions, learning. And at a certain point, you can pass it off. You can let it go. You can delegate. You can give up. You can respect boundaries. You can create your own boundaries. And that is letting go. Letting go is not good vibes only again. Good vibes only is one of the most seductive and kind of unhealthy spiritual light aphorisms I've ever heard. Not a big fan. Naughty, good vibes only pillows. All right. Number 3 is a slightly lighter one, but it's sort of a heavy one. I've been listening to Dean Martin Christmas songs, yada, yada. I heard about Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. They were great partners. And then they had a falling out. They didn't talk for 20 years, 30 years. They basically never talked again. They did reconnect toward the end of their life around Dean Martin's son, I think, died at the funeral, and they had a sort of awkward reunion with Frank Sinatra. But anyway, good friends have a hard time. So I was just on Elephant's Facebook accounts. I was sharing an Elephant article about letting go of friendships that are not working, or communicating with those dear friends about how they could work. We think a lot about breakups in relationships, and we don't put a lot of attention into friendship breakups. So how the heck does that work? Well, we can circumvent a lot of friendships going south, friendships kind of falling apart, by offering more appreciation. So the practice here is simply equal appreciation. A lady was just telling me about this the other day. There's a concept called equal appreciation, and it is basically what it sounds like, which is, if you have someone in your life who you appreciate, express it. Right after this video is over, go express it. Text them, call them, doesn't matter. Even scientific studies have shown even a little nice text that may sound meaningless and we want to criticize it, it can mean something. It can help, especially when people are in depression or isolation. So offer a little appreciation. The key is you have to mean it. I have a good friend. We offer a lot of appreciation back to each other, back and forth. And you're kind of vulnerable when you want appreciation, when you expect appreciation, when you don't get it. And if you don't get it, it's important to feel that and be honest about how that feels. And at the same time, come back to the lesson that you're doing these kindnesses, not to be appreciated, but to do the kindnesses. You want to do them. And if you don't get appreciated, then you can communicate about that. You can let go of that friendship eventually. But the basic law is say thank you, say thank you, say thank you, say thank you, mean it, mean it, mean it, mean it. And that is this beautiful cycle of love that's just ping-ponging back and forth. And if it stops ping-ponging, communicate, give them a chance, and then let go, just like we talked about in drama. So that is this week's 3 mindful tips. Please do me a huge favor. Go to youtube.com, find Waylon Hart Lewis, WaylonHartLewis, and subscribe to my brand new channel. You'll know it's the right one. Thank you, everyone, for the hearts. You'll know it's the right one when you see there's only 220 subscribers. Our old YouTube channel had millions and millions of views. This new one is very humble. I've literally been doing a YouTube video for 14 minutes over here. Guess how many viewers I have live? It's okay. We rebuild. We create little fires out of wet leaves when we're cold. And boy, it's been cold lately. So there you go. Go check out the mindful tips. I do 3 every Friday on all kinds of issues: veganism, communication, Buddhism, climate crisis, Christmas trees. I have my book Christmas Tree behind me. I have a fire mitigation, traditional Christmas tree upstairs. I've written about Christmas as a half Jew, Buddhist heathen. I relate to Christmas as the Christmas spirit, which is all the best movies are about that. Wonderful Life, Grinch. The Christmas spirit I love. Waylon Hart, H-A-R-T. No, not heart like heart. H-A-R-T like deer. So, yeah, I relate to the Christmas spirit as simply being about um, peace on earth. That means not killing animals if we don't need to. That means, you know, trying to inject a little bit of kindness and empathy and take out a little aggression. Like, really, we can change our habits. We can. A lot of people say, oh, our little actions don't matter. Altogether, they certainly matter. That's literally how capitalism works, supply demand. Whether we like capitalism or not, that's how it works. So if we want to fight the devil, then we just, reverse our habits and we vote and we protest and we take bigger macro actions. But altogether, we are macro. That's community. Big love to community. See you next Friday. Thank you. Thank you.